Hello again, everyone. So what we have here today is an example of stacking for armadas. So we see the normal crew that we've been using recently is this one that I have on my ship. It's Cisco as captain with Spock and Kirk. Spock has the special ability that we want, which is to increase your shield health by 750% of the defense of the officers of the ship. And you got a lot of questions about what this means and how it gets used. Cisco also has an ability, his captain's ability, which is to increase armor, shield, deflection, and dodge. That's all of your mitigation stats by 400% of the total health when you fight armadas. So the total health is the total health of the ship. And what that means, you can't see it here, but if we go to a different ship that's in the dock, you can see it. And if we try to assign officers, we can see the total health is this number here, 18,055. So 18,000, and the total defense is 18,000. So if you want to know what they do, you have to figure out what the actual stat is. So if you look at a similar one, 511 increases, again, all mitigation stats by 200% of the total health. That's a little bit worse than Cisco, but it works on everything. So it should be a little bit worse. Anyway, but if you had 200%, that means that we're going to take 200% times 18,228, right? So it'll give us, 36,000 added to all of these stats. So 36,000 added to your shield deflection, 36,000 added to your armor, 36,000 added to your dodge. Now, there's a slight trick in all of this, and I'm sure that some of you have realized this already, but the trick is that it doesn't calculate this number, this 200 times 18,000 for every ship. It only calculates that number the very first time it sees an officer in the Armada that has one of those officers in it. So if we were to just go start another Armada, say like this one, what it's going to do is going to look in these Armada slots, and it's going to come down the list from top to bottom, however that looks. So the leader's always at the top when the leader's in the Armada, and they have to be for you to start it. And then it goes down to the people that are starred, and it goes down to the people that are just in by their power. And so what you'll see happening is that if someone brings an officer like Cisco, or someone brings an officer like Spock, and they're the leader, or they're very high in the list, it's possible that it will use their stats. So since I'm the leader, what it's going to do is it's going to go to my ship. It's going to see the 3 officers that are on there, and it's going to say, okay, I see there's Cisco on there. He needs a health stat, and it's going to use the health stat from my ship. And it's going to go to Spock, and it's going to say, oh, he needs a defense stat, and it's going to use the defense stat from my ship to do the math and figure out how much shield gen you're going to get. And same thing for Cisco, figure out how much mitigation you're going to get. So what ends up happening sometimes is one person will run an Armada, and then another person will run right after them, and everyone has the same crews, and the first time everyone wins and it's super easy, and the second time everybody blows up. And the problem with that is that for the first Armada that you ran, probably what's happening is that person who is in the Armada first, or that person who has that officer in the list higher. So let's see what Golib has here. He probably has the same crew as me. Yeah, so he has all the same officers as me, so he's going to use just all of my stats. So it doesn't matter what he has on his ship. He has all the same officers as me. I'm higher in the list. He uses my stats. We see someone else is showing up in here. They might have different officers, so we can think about that. Yeah, Go-Go, he probably has different officers. Nope, he has all the same ones. So as long as people keep showing up with those, everyone's going to share my stats, And what I do, specifically because I know this, and when I run the Armadas, I don't run Armadas until I make sure that I have a very high number down here. So my number for my Stella is about 40,000 for defense and health usually. And I do that by just adding the biggest officers I can. So I go down here to defense, I pick some pretty big officers, and of course the Stella has a lot more slots than this ship has. If we were to go to another ship that just has more slots, because why not? Then we could start stacking up our defense officers, just ordering by defense. And so we order by defense, sure. We get some defense on there. Let's order by health. Let's get some more health. And we can just do this until we get as much as we need or as much as we want. And now I have 42,000 defense and health again. Turns out these officers aren't very specific. They're all kind of general, so I have actually 42 of everything. That doesn't matter. No one uses the attack stat in the officers that I have selected, so that doesn't matter. But that's what you do. So if you're looking to start an Armada and you want to start a really big Armada and you need that extra mitigation from Cisco and you need the extra shields from Spock because the Armadas hit really hard at the 40s, then you need to make sure that you have enough defense and health stacked on your ship. If you're planning to start one, or if someone very low level is going to start one and they don't even have the officers and you might be first in the list. Either way, all it does to figure this out is just go down the list in the Armada, and the first person with each officer is the one who calculates the stat for that officer. Hopefully this helps, and helps some other people understand a little bit better about how these things work and why it might work sometimes and why it might not. And you see Baba just showed up, but you see Baba doesn't have any officers that need any stats. It doesn't say anywhere, add 100% of your defense stat or add 100% of your attack stat to something. So these officers don't matter who has them. They're all the same no matter who brings them. Alrighty, hopefully that was insightful and helpful to any of you. And I will see you next time.